Now it's time for another Board Game Brawl preview with Nick Minahan, sponsored by BoardGameBliss.com. Hey folks, my name is Nick, this is Board Game Brawl, and today we're going to be taking a look at a game that is currently seeking funding on Kickstarter. That game is called Control, and it's from Keymaster Games. Now, if you like what you see throughout the rest of this preview video, I'm going to encourage you to go to the official Kickstarter project page. There's going to be a link up in the top corner of your screen, as well as down in the description section underneath the video that will take you to the Kickstarter page, find out more information, and hopefully you'll consider backing the project. Now, what is Control? This is a competitive game for 2 to 4 players. You play in teams if you play with 4 players, and what you're trying to do, you are like these chrononauts who are stuck outside of time. Your spaceship, your time travel ship has been lampooned, and you need to charge it up in order to escape from this big anomaly. And you want to do this before the other players do, and hopefully strand them in the past, because that's just what time travelers do to each other. So in order to do this, you need to manipulate all these different forces and gravitational fields and wormholes and things like this that are around you in order to charge up your ship and possibly trip up the other players. You're doing this through hand management and take-that mechanisms. Let me go ahead and give you a brief look at how the game is played with a prototype version of the game. So what you see here may change in the final version, just keep that in mind. Then we're going to come back, I'll give you my final thoughts. Control is a competitive card game for 2 to 4 players. The goal of the game is to be the first player to reach a fuel cell charge of 21 or more by the end of your turn. With 4 players, you play in teams, 2 on 2, sitting alternately, with only 1 player on a team needing to hit the goal of 21. It's also possible for sudden death to occur. If the deck runs out, the game continues until all cards have been played. Each player has 1 opportunity to pass and do nothing, but after that, they must play if they have cards remaining. Otherwise, they're skipped. Once all cards have been played, the game is over, and whoever has the most points is the winner, even if they didn't reach 21. To start the game, shuffle the deck and deal 5 cards to each player, placing the deck in the center of the table. When it's your turn, you have 1 action to take and 4 different options. First, you can draw a card from the deck, though you can't do this if you've already got 7 or more cards. Second, you can install a fuel cell. Fuel cells have a number in the top left corner of the card, along with either a bronze or silver symbol. Simply take one of these cards and put it into play in front of you. Its number now counts towards your fuel cell goal. If the fuel cell was silver, its written ability is also triggered as soon as it's installed. This can be an ability like Rift, which lets you either draw a card or destroy the bronze 10 value card known as Nova, or Exotic Matter, which lets you immediately install another fuel cell of 6 or less. Third, you can defuse an opponent's fuel cell. You play a fuel cell from your hand with a charge that is equal to or greater than one of your opponent's fuel cells that is already installed, and both cards get discarded immediately. Finally, you can burn a bronze fuel cell. This is the only way to activate the abilities on bronze cards. You simply take the bronze card from your hand, place it into the discard pile, and carry out the ability. It must be from your hand, not a card that you've already installed. There are abilities like Anomaly, which destroys all installed silver fuel cells. Wormhole, which lets you take your card of your choice from the discard. And Time Stop, which can be played at any time to cancel someone else's bronze burn ability. And that's the game. You keep taking turns using one of the actions I just described until someone meets the fuel cell goal or you enter a sudden death situation. Now, let's get to my final thoughts. Well, I've said many times on my channel that I find it very interesting when a game that is a card game lets the players use cards in multiple different ways. You can use a card as a type of currency, you can use the card as an attack against other players, things like that. And Control definitely has that in spades, no pun intended. You can use your card to fuel yourself, which is essentially what you're trying to do. That is the goal of the game, but you can't do that in a vacuum. The other players aren't going to let you do that in a vacuum. They're going to be playing their cards to use them for their special abilities. So they may play one of the silver fuel cards, which are not worth very much. They're lower on they're lower scale on the points end for getting towards your goal of charging up your fuel cells. But by just merely playing them, you're not only getting points towards your goal, you're getting special abilities to use against the other players or to buff yourself up, even if it's just to draw more cards. Or you can take those bronze fuel cards, which are worth a lot of points towards your goal, and burn those in order to get really drastic effects and powerful effects that are going to really trip up the other players. Or, of course, you've got that 10 card, which is going to be sitting out there like a sore thumb, waiting for someone to destroy it. But you have to make these decisions. You have to decide, am I going to go for it? Am I going to install this hoping I can survive another round and hopefully just get step by step, get up towards my goal before someone knocks me down a peg? Or do I just play defensive for as long as I can, drain the other players of cards, and then make my move? You have to deal with all these different effects of the cards that are coming out. Sometimes you're just getting collateral damage, for instance, from a card that destroys all the silver cards that are installed out on the table. But the fact that the game is, in a sense, sort of kind of a race to get to that goal, it kind of feels very tense and stressful as you race to play down the cards as fast as you possibly can. It keeps the game moving at a brisk pace. The game is very simple. I hope you got that, simple to learn. Hope you got that, from the overview that I did. Because it's very easy, fast to jump into, very fast to play. It's not going to take you that long, even for your first game. And on subsequent games, you'll get it very, very quickly and just be able to fly through the games. And it's very interesting when a game can be as simple as that to pick up and learn and to play, but at the same time still give you decisions to make and things to do and lots of interaction between the players, not always very nice. So if you're someone who likes all of these different aspects, if you like the theme, if you like the artwork, if you like being able to make important decisions with cards in your hand and manage how you use them in very different ways, you you very much need to check out Control. It's actually running on Kickstarter right now. You can follow the link up in the top corner of your screen as well as down in the description section of this video. That will take you to the official Kickstarter project page. You do not have to take my word for it. And there's not much time left, by the way. Let me stress that. So if you're interested in the game, you have to go there now and check it out before it is too late. So that is Control from Keymaster Games. Thank you so much for watching this video. Take care. Thanks for watching. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon. And make sure to check out our sponsor, Board Game Bliss, where you can find an amazing selection of games from around the world. BoardGameBliss.com. Thanks for your support.